Alan's going to name some teams here, and
So
I'm going to name some teams, and you're going to tell me if they're a contender or a pretender. The Minnesota Wild.
They're pretenders. That team, I love the Wild. Kirill Kaprizov's one of my favorite players in the NHL. They have 4 guys, and their goalie, Philip Gustafson, is playing out of his mind right now.
He is.
Which is why they've seen as much success. I think that's a huge reason as to why they've seen as much success. Him and Kirill Kaprizov carrying the team on his back. He does also have a goal. That was awesome. It's just one of those things. I don't think it's sustainable for an entire season. I do think they're a playoff team. Yeah. I think they're getting out of that Ryan Suter, Zach Parise fiasco a couple seasons ago, where they have a good younger core on cheaper contracts. Mm-hmm. But I don't foresee them being this 55, 60 win team. I think they're max going to squeak into the playoffs and probably the 3rd playoff spot in the Central Conference.
Yeah.
The Central Division, pardon me, not conference. I think the Avs are going to get a lot better. There are teams behind them that are going to get a lot better over the course of the season. They're going to fall off a bit. I think they'll still be in the playoffs, though.
Yeah, I think the Central right now, we kind of looked at it before we were recording, just at the, standings and things. And I think the Central is just really odd right now, seeing some of these teams down and where they're at. Colorado being as low as they are. But yeah, I think it's gonna be the top 3 again: Winnipeg, Dallas, and Colorado. And honestly, Utah, I just don't know if Utah's gonna do it. I could see Minnesota. I do too. I hope Minnesota and Utah are fighting for that late spot. And again, it's like we said before, it's kind of tough to judge some of these teams on where they are in the standings at this point because it's so early. There's only 12 games played. I think come December, January is when we can really kind of start seeing that playoff picture come to life. But right now it's just so early. It's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. But next team I have for you, the New Jersey Devils.
I think the New Jersey Devils are going to finally break out this year. They got their goalie. They got their guy in net. I know I was just talking about how you don't need a goalie to be great, right? But you need a goalie to be good.
Yeah.
At least if you have a defensive core that's as young as they are. You're led by Luke Hughes, and I think they have Dougie Hamilton back now. But
yeah,
I think that's a legit wagon. I think they're going to go maybe not deep in the playoffs, but they're a 2nd or 3rd round team. I think they're a contender for the Stanley Cup, which is going to be really fun to see Jack Hughes playing late in the year.
Yeah.
Late in the season, I should say. They're a contender, I think, 100%.
Yeah, I think New Jersey, like you said with the goalie thing, I think the biggest thing too is just you got to have a good goalie to make the playoffs, but you got to have a goalie on fire to win the Stanley Cup. I think that's what makes it so tough is we see all these runs that these teams make, and it usually comes from the dude between the pipes. Vegas, somehow Aiden Hill just came out of nowhere and was just stopping everything. Also, Vegas had a great defense that year, but and then also Bobrovsky, him doing him. But Markstrom's a good goalie, and I think he's someone that we'll see if he can turn it on when it needs to be. But I really think that this Devils team, I'm excited, like you said, to see Jack Hughes playing hopefully later in the season, opposed to his normal 1st round exit. And just seeing, because they always say we're in the golden age of hockey, and I feel like none of these players are really shining as of late, at least in the playoffs. Besides McDavid, obviously, but it's always been these. Yeah, it is every year. But yeah,
I think you made a great point with. It's more important to have a goalie that's hot in the playoffs than it is to have a good goalie in general.
Yeah,
you look at, you go back to 2016 with Matt Murray winning the Cup with the Penguins. Matt Murray's not an elite goalie. No. Who got hot at the right time. He got extremely hot. He was unbeatable. Yeah. In the 2016 playoffs, obviously, they had a good team around him. They won the Stanley Cup. But 2017, the same deal. He replaced Marc-Andre Fleury as a starter again. Won the Cup there. 2018, Braden Holtby was a great goalie in his time, but he was at the back half of his career. He was not the Braden Holtby that's, competing for Vezinas anymore.
Yeah.
19, Jordan Binnington.
Yeah.
That guy's mid.
Yeah,
but he got really good at the right time.
Yeah. Jordan Middington. Yeah. No, I think it's honestly like, it just seems like all these goalies, like, what was I going to say? Even Bobrovsky, for example, he was a great goaltender throughout his whole career. He's at the tail end now, but he was great, but never really had a chance to shine in the playoffs, I guess you could say.
He won Vezinas I think both of his Vezinas came on Columbus.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
So,
and Columbus sucked.
Kind of crazy.
He won one playoff round the entire time he was there.
Yeah. So stuff like that, where it's like you can't expect some of these amazing goalies to take you. It's always just these random little spurts of heroism. And honestly, like Bobrovsky's the latest goalie to really have that that shining moment as of lately. So I don't know. Interesting to see. But last team, the Washington Capitals.
Washington Capitals suck. They're pretenders. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. I love Alex Ovechkin. Okay. I hope for the rest of the season, Alex Ovechkin scores a goal every game. I hope he has an amazing season, breaks all the records, breaks Gretzky's record, whatever, right? But I don't think that team is a playoff team. I think they're sitting in third in the NHL. There's something crazy like that. It might not be that high up.
Third in the Metro, at least.
Third in the Metro. Either way, I don't think they're that good of a team. Dylan Strome has 17 points in 11 games. His highest point scoring season before this season so far, at least the pace that he's on, was 67 points.
Jeez.
He's a great player. Great second line center on a very good team. He's not your first line center that's going to win you Stanley Cup. No. He's not the first line center that's going to take you, to a President's Trophy or whatever. I think that team is as pretender gets, just like last year when they made the playoffs with a negative goal differential. Like it's not it's not feasible. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think even what were they last year? They were the 4 spot. They were the wild card team, one of them.
They were the second wild card team in the East.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. Because didn't they get in over Detroit? Or was that
they did? Around? They got in over Detroit on the last day of the season.
They ruined the magical comeback for the Red Wings, all those games they had. So this is karma coming back for them. But Ovi still is going to score a lot of goals, but I don't see them making the playoffs. I think the Islanders are going to creep back up. I think they'll figure their shit out. Pittsburgh.
They're too good of a team.